If you've ever been experimenting with Valve Hammer Editor or played Counter-Strike creeds, you've probably paid attention that length, velocity, and jump distance are measured in units. But what is the unit? Today, most 3D software and game engines use the metric system, but Gold's Source, and other Quake-based engines are using units for dimension measurements. Unit is the primary unit of measurement in all Quake engines. But how do we understand how much that is and translate it into the real world? Currently, two opinions are popular. Gold Source units are effectively inches. Units are not exactly inches, and you should not refer to them for real-world scale. Now let's explain the origins of these beliefs. If we assume that unit equals inch, we will get that Gordon is 6 feet or 1.83 meters tall, which is a normal human size. This statement is logically correct and makes sense. However, this is wrong. The opponents say, units are not exactly inches, and if we look at the player size, we will see that Gordon Freeman is 32 inches wide, which is unrealistic. This is also not true. I think they're missing the key point, that Half-Life's player size is not actually a size of the player, but a size of the player collider that is used for math, collision, and hit detection. Numerous problems will arise if the player collider is made to be the exact size of a human. Players will have problems navigating levels by walking into really tiny spaces and corners. Players will be allowed to move the camera very close to the wall, which will look unrealistic, especially when holding a weapon in hands. The player model will clip through walls when playing an animation, for example running or jumping, because we no longer have the extra space around the player. So we not only need an actual player size, but also a size of a step and size of hands holding a firearm. Other engines use similar proportions. For example, Unity uses capsule-like character controller, 0.35 meters in radius, 1.8 meters tall or 28 inches wide, 71 inches tall. So what is the unit? I define unit as a unit of length measurement close to the inch and rounded for ease of calculation. Of course, this is true for most games, but the developer can change the proportions depending on what they are doing. During my investigation into the engine's mechanics, I established a critical foundational principle. Unit equates to 0.025 meters. This conclusion was reached through the following observation. When exporting level geometry from Quake or Half-Life and subsequently importing it into a 3D editor application, the vertices consistently align with the grid, yet the overall mesh appears excessively large. Scaling the mesh by a factor of 0.0254 causes all vertices to deviate from the grid. However, applying a scale factor of 0.025 results in a visually accurate mesh where all vertices maintain their grid alignment, mirroring their appearance in the level editing application. For those familiar with 3D applications like Blender, Unity, and Unreal Engine, a human height of 1.8 meters is commonly used. Converting 72 units with this multiplier also results in 1.8 meters. Taking all of the above into consideration, we can conclude that 1 unit equals 0.025 meters or 0.984 inch. So, should I build maps referring to real work scales? If you use units as inches for mapping, in most cases you will get satisfying, realistic results. It is up to you to follow the real-world scale or not. For the comfort of the player, it may be better to adjust object size. You can use real-world measurements as a reference, but you must adjust the size of the object to make it feel right in the game.